grew up. I grew up in basically Wainema National Forest with my father here, Robert Lester. I'm also Robert Lester, and this is one account of alien encounter. Sounds like this would be of the third kind. All right, Dad, go ahead and give your testimony.
All right, it was about 10:30 at night. Mom was, all of a sudden, she was overcome with fatigue. She says, I can't keep my eyes open anymore. I've got to go to bed. I said, okay. So we went in, and she put me in bed, and I'm laying there because I got the big eye. I can't sleep. And she gets in bed, and then she falls asleep immediately. It's just kind of, and I'm kind of laying there in the dark, staring, and all of a sudden this pillar of light appeared at the end of my bed. And this pillar of light had what appeared to be like mist coming down off of it. It was light though, it was like mist. And there was an object like a bowl underneath it. And the mist flowed down into the bowl, and the bowl-like object filled up with this mist, and it started flowing. This female voice spoke, and she said, "Things are not as appear. Have faith, Robert." And then it vanished and disappeared. Well, the next night, the same thing happened. Same time. All of a sudden, Mom was overcome with fatigue. She had to go to bed. So the same thing happened. I got put in bed. She fell asleep right away. I'm laying there with a big eye because I can't sleep. It's only like about 11 o'clock at this time. And all of a sudden, this silver elliptical object appeared at the end of my bed. It was probably about 2 feet wide and probably about a foot and a half wide. About 2 feet long and about a foot and a half wide. And it's sitting there and it's scintillating, just real shiny, like silver. And its voice spoke to me, and it said, "You won't need your silver chair, nor silver braces, nor silver crutches when you walk again." And I no sooner said that is, bam, it disappeared. And I fell asleep immediately afterwards. But these are the encounters that I had. It was rather strange. So I have no idea what it was about. I have no idea who it was.
Could you share a little bit about the velour-haired men?
Yeah. I was laying in bed, and the next thing I know, I had these little men standing next to my bed, and they had very short, pure white hair. It looked like velvet or velour, very short. They had very large, prominent eyebrows that stuck out. Their eyes appeared to be sunk in. They were black, but they were human-shaped. Their noses were extremely large and wide, and their mouths were just like normal lips. Their skin was sort of a pinkish color. They wore little jumpsuits that was kind of a beige color, a very light beige color. I couldn't see what they were wearing on their feet because I was laying flat on bed, and I couldn't move because I'd be paralyzed. But the larger one, there was 4 of them. The larger one came up and was standing up right by my head looking right at me. All he did was just look at me. The other 3 little guys, which were probably a head shorter than he was, were down at the end of the bed, and they were trying to stretch themselves up on the bed, and they were sniffing at my legs. And this kind of freaked me out, and all of a sudden, I snapped too. I don't know, whatever it was I was in, I snapped out of it, and they were gone. But this was another strange little encounter I had. So, these are strange encounters. I have no idea what that was about. I can't tell you if it was a dream or if it actually happened, but that's what happened. So there you have it in a nutshell.
And then, could we do the Betty and Barney Hill?
Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was November, and it was November of 1982, I believe. We're about 3 miles out of Spring River, and it's there's a little bit of snow on the ground. There's really not a lot of snow, but it was November, and was very dark on the Sprague River Highway, but the Sprague River runs right next to the highway in a lot of places, and we're traveling up towards Sprague River from Chiloquin, and I see these red lights hovering over the river, and I turned to my wife and I said, look, a UFO, and she says, that's not a UFO, that's an airplane. I said, airplanes can't sit still like that. So I pulled up directly across from them. There were 3 ships. They were sort of wedge-shaped. They were glowing red. They had little tiny turned down wings towards the back of the craft. And opened up the door, and I stood up to look at them. And when my wife started freaking out, saying she didn't want to be like Barney Hill, she didn't want to be like Barney Hill, she kept repeating it. She started freaking out. And so I said, okay. And I got back in the car, and I closed the door. When I did, apparently, me closing the door alerted these, whoever they were in the craft, that we were there, and they shot straight up into the air and disappeared. That's happened of November 1982. Just out about 3 miles out of Sprague River. I mean, Chiloquin, Oregon, sorry.
Yeah. And you're, so did you ever have any possible Bigfoot encounters in Sprague River?
No.
I remember you told me you went down fishing one
I
time.
heard something howl one night. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning in summertime. The moon was full. I couldn't sleep. So I was up walking around outside, and I heard this strange howl. It was a loud, drawn-out, melancholy howl.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it was. I've never heard anything like it before. I know it wasn't a cougar. I know it wasn't a bobcat.
It wasn't an owl.
It wasn't a coyote or an owl. It had a long howl, drawn-out howl, and it sounded very lonely. But it was very loud.
Yeah, it's real drawn out, right?
Yes.
Like a wail, more like a scream.
Yeah. And it was just strange. And I asked some of the neighbors if they heard anything strange. They said no. I told them about it. They said maybe it was a cougar. I said no, it was no cougar. I know what a cougar sounds like, you know. So it was just one of those strange things. And that Saddle Mountain is known for Sasquatch running around out there, so I don't know, maybe it was a Sasquatch, I have no idea.
Well, I'm convinced it's a Sasquatch because of Robbie, when he came down on his graduation, when we came in, remember that? We come into the house there and you and Grandma said, where you guys been? And what Grandma said, we looked like what the hell was wrong with us? And I said to Grandma, I said, we just saw Bigfoot. And you and Grandma started laughing at Robbie and I. Yeah, I didn't believe that Bigfoot was real either until that night. And that night stuck in my head. The howls I experienced, the thing up in the tree making this, it was one of those, you know, when you head down to the mailboxes and, you know, you turn left there, okay, and you head down by the river. It's that shallow part of the river where the embankment's rotted away and you could fall right through it in spots. You know what I'm talking about? All right, well, those big trees down there, that's where we saw it up in the trees. It was just a cluster of trees there all by themselves. And whatever it was causing that thing, that big tree, that tree's got to be 150 feet high. And it was moving all by itself. Yeah, so I know that there are things out there that we can't explain, but those alien encounters are, they're significant. Everybody's voice who's experienced these things is significant.